Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Super Sub Podcast. We're back. It's been a while.
Yeah, we've
Podcast.
missed the last 2 weeks, right?
You're interrupting my intro, man. Yeah, no, I think it might be longer. 3 weeks,
Yeah,
maybe.
we've
Um,
definitely got a lot of stuff to cover, a lot of drama that's
oh
happened.
yeah, big time. Um, but it's a podcast where two brothers talk all things footy, drop takes hotter than a manager's seat after a five-game slump, and discuss who deserves our prestigious award of Super Sub of the Week. It's football talk that feels like you're right here in the room with us. So lace up your boots and let's get underway. All right, now you can speak, sir. uh, who's your super sub of the week?
Mine is guy with all the celebrations. I'm gonna go for Antoine Griezmann. Um, he had a really nice finish. Like could have pulled a hamstring with that touch, but he had a really nice finish that kind of ended Atletico's like mini slump, and gave them the win just to kind of keep their hopes for the La Liga race alive. Just because, just like the Premier League, this one the race is a bit. Barca kind of has more of the lead, but they're not too far off of it.
Yeah, and then Madrid too. Like they're slightly ahead, but they've
Hmm.
been kind of struggling too
Yeah,
to put wins together.
definitely that top four spot in La Liga is open, like the second to fourth for sure.
Yeah, for me, mine was also Griezmann. So yeah, came on, uh, nice finish, but
Mhm.
not much else to add for that one. The Wolves game, potential super sub to their teenager or a striker, but we'll cover that game here
As a
shortly.
certified Arsenal hater, I just didn't want to give him the shouts.
Yeah. Um, so I guess maybe we'll start with the Chelsea Everton game.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, so we'll cover a couple of Premier League games and do a prediction for y'all tomorrow. Hate these midweek.
Premier League is got some high wands. Those Premier League game writers, like they knew we got one game a week. Why y'all trying to?
Yeah. Doesn't make sense. Like last week too, y'all played on a Monday, which was annoying.
Yeah, and the primetime Sunday game today is like trash. Leeds Brentford.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say. They put the trash teams on midweek
Mm.
games. So, yeah, so we'll start with Chelsea Everton. Uh, in this game, we won 2-0, deservingly so too. I think this was one of our most dominant performances, but unfortunate injury for Dewsbury Hall. Found it kind of strange that he was getting like the standing ovation when he left injured. Like he didn't really contribute for us in the like in the conference league he did, but like
Mhm.
he wasn't like a he played for 1 year too. It was strange, but um 2-0, pretty comfortable win. Cole Palmer back in the score sheet after a very long time. Nice finish. And then Malo Gusto right before halftime as well.
Player of the match.
2-0. Yeah, he had a really good game. Probably one of his best games this season. Uh, but I was getting a little worried because in the first half, we went up 1-0 and we had like around 60% possession in that half, but kind of just seemed like we weren't doing much and kind of complacent and just felt like, this is the same old Chelsea.
Hmm.
But that second goal was kind of a dagger right before halftime.
Yeah, that was a much needed goal because I think definitely you guys we've seen it throughout the years, just taking your foot off the gas. Um, you guys almost shot yourselves in the foot that one time where I think you guys were already up 1-0, and then I think there was one instance where you guys were on a breakaway off of Everton corner, and Enzo like plays it straight to Everton, who would then like have all the numbers.
Yeah.
So it's like little silly things like that. Um,
And that was frustrating, that pass. Like, he's done that a few times this year.
mhm.
Um, where he just like his final pass is just so poor, and especially that one was like perfect counterattack for us right off the corner and just a
Yeah.
wasteful of a pass.
Yeah, this was a much needed win though, I think, just based on your guys' form and a little bit of the heat that I'm not sure why. Like I know it's a little slump, but I don't think Enzo Maresca really should be in question about his like job security. I don't know from your like I'm sure you follow a bunch of Chelsea sources and stuff on Twitter, but like um I know in the Kalai news he had like a tweet saying like if Chelsea's struggles continue, Enzo could be in the hot seat. And stuff like that. So it was a big win, especially considering the teams you guys are going to be coming up against here in the next few games in the league.
And December has been like it's always a strange month for us where for some reason we just struggle in the month of December. And yeah, to your point, we have, aside from the midweek game, we have mighty Cardiff in the EFL Cup, but we have Newcastle as like our first Premier League game next weekend, and then we have Villa, Bournemouth, City. So, and then we have Fulham in January too, which
That's
they're
always a
kind of
tricky.
they're
Yeah.
tricky and they've been on really good form this year. So, yeah, Maresca's. I don't think it's warranted like his hot seat. I think he's done a pretty good job given the circumstance, like especially with now he has Cole Palmer back finally. He was, the best player on our team, and also just defensively we've struggled, but we've had a lot of injuries, and he's been trying to make do with like what he has. But one player I don't ever want to see playing again is that man Tosin. My
Yeah, I see a
gosh,
lot of
dude.
Chelsea fans not a fan of his.
Dude, he's just a liability, which is so weird because at Fulham he looks so good.
Yeah, he's definitely like. I still think he's a good player to have on the squad as a rotation, especially coming on as I think he was a free for you guys.
Yeah,
Um,
and there were
that's
question marks with like just his age, but I was
yeah,
a
he was a
believer.
late bloomer.
Yeah, and that's what people were thinking. Like maybe he's just a late bloomer, but I
Hmm.
guess there's reasons scouts were wary of him.
Yeah, but that gets you guys securing that top four spot as of now. And then also a big win, just considering, as you mentioned, Palmer's going to be back like for the foreseeable future now from injury, and then Moises Caicedo back from suspension as well.
Yeah, Caicedo will be huge, but Reece James has kind of filled into his role. What do you think of his performances? I think that's like kind of the third game he's played in a
That
row in
mid,
that.
yeah. Um, I still think he's like as a pure right back. Like I like him there just because going forward, I think he has. Even though Gusto did have like a really great game
Mhm.
versus Everton, Reece James like his just final product delivering crosses and stuff. I feel like is a lot better. He's based essentially like Trent, but like got the defensive capabilities for sure.
Yeah, and
I
we
feel like
didn't
they're
touch
just
on
slightly better options in that midfield.
than him. Yeah, he's done the job really well, and especially like you could see it in the Arsenal game where he played in the midfield, and he was the standout player that game, and
Oh
running the
yeah,
midfield.
yeah, he dominated that. Yeah.
But it just goes back to like his class and like levels where
Hmm.
like it's nice to have such a versatile player like that with that type of caliber.
Yeah, he'll definitely be one. I think he'll have a big role in the England squad.
And then I guess some players to point out that on the Everton side, I thought they kind of scared me, especially on their right sided of their
Skillman and
attack.
Jai.
And Jai and O'Brien. O'Brien, like
He's a
he's
goofy
a
player.
yeah, as a right back, like he's not that mobile, and you could tell like some of his crosses he just wasted opportunities, and we
Mhm.
got lucky there. But I don't know, Garnacho usually puts in a shift defensively, but this game he just looked off of it, and Kukurea at times were just 2v1 against Njai and O'Brien. But Garnacho he had a really poor game, both on defensively and attack.
Yeah, he had that one easy chance where did a good job of rounding the keeper and then wide open net puts it wide. But he looked the old Garnat, like the United Garnacho days, like what I'm used to seeing, bit selfish and yeah, no other words than just it felt like a selfish type game from him. He's forcing it a
Yeah,
little bit too much.
yeah. I think he's just trying to make a name for himself in the new team. But
Hmm.
I do like a player like that where they have the confidence and belief in themselves, and
Yeah.
they don't just kind of play the conservative pass every time. But
Yeah, to your point though, I will say the 60th, 70th minute really, Everton really were starting to apply pressure. I think Njai really, I feel like Njai was really quiet first half, and second half is like when he really started like playing the way we know he can.
yeah, it was funny after the match, him and Reece James talking, and there's like speculations that James is trying to recruit Njai.
Mm.
And it looked like Reese was saying like come over to the bridge.
Hmm.
It looked like, and Jai was like not. You couldn't see what Jai was saying, but you could see him
Yeah,
nodding and
nodding.
like smiling.
Oh dang, yeah, that'd be a scary
It
time.
yeah.
Him and Steve-O.
If you saw him on the Chelsea side, where would you see him fitting?
Um, I could see him. I don't know. I feel like Steve-O's got to kind of break into the team next year. So I feel
Hmm.
like Steve-O, he prefers that right hand side, and then I'd put in Jai at like coming from the left, basically where Garnacho is. Upgrade on
Yeah,
Garnacho and Gittins.
and it would be nice to have like Pedro Neto coming off the bench.
Hmm.
He had a really good game too.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's like starter material for us and like a champion. Like if you're trying to push for a title, I don't know
Hmm.
if he's like at that caliber to
Which
start.
is weird because when he was at Wolves, like everyone was like, "Oh, he's like the player to go
Mhm.
after to take you to the next level."
And then one last player I just wanted to give a shout out to was Robert Sanchez.
I put my
This
hands up for
man.
this one.
Well,
I've
I
been
mean,
saying you guys need a goalkeeping change, but I
yeah,
think
he's been
he's.
consistent.
Does he have the most clean sheets in the league? No, Art. I feel like
No,
Riot would,
Arsenal. Yeah.
but he's not too far off of it, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but like, yeah, just the saves he's making, he's keeping us
Hmm.
in a lot of games. Some great save and like crossing claims. And what's impressed me the most is his composure with the ball at his feet.
Yeah, you don't get as nervous this year.
Yeah, it's a good feeling to have. And then his decision making too of like when to go long,
Hmm.
play it short, but like even the counter attacks that we build off like from his cross claiming, like he does a good job of getting it out to our forwards.
You that's when you know that you got respect back for him is when you call him by his name instead of Mr. Lightskin.
So yeah, he's been consistent, but we have a tough run of games here, and I think
How
this
many
this
points would you be happy with? You read out like the next 4 games, I think.
is a
Um,
Newcastle. It's at St. James. I'd want at least a point. Villa, that's a big one, but at the Bridge, we struggled at home.
mhm.
So I think out of, and then we play Bournemouth again, which we had a stinker versus them. I think out of those 3 games, I would want at least 5 points, maybe
Mhm.
six.
Yeah.
And then we play City at the Etihad. I do think we can get a win there,
Mm.
and then Fulham win. So I'm hoping for around 12 points
Putting the
in the next
five.
5 games.
Solid.
Do you think that's achievable?
Yeah. I think I think at least like a minimum at least like 10 should be
Yeah, eight
achievable.
8 points off of Arsenal right now. I think this month is going to be huge to see if we're
Yeah.
still going to be in the title race or not.
Hmm. for sure.
And speaking of Arsenal, we can jump to that game versus Wolves.
Heartbreaking. I wanted to cry.
Yeah, we were talking about this game beforehand where a lot of people were kind of saying, and rightfully so. I mean, Wolves have been statistically the worst defensive team, and
Quick,
Arsenal on.
quick fact on Wolves: they're the only team in all of England's seven divisions, like all the way from the National League to the Premier League, that have yet to win a game this year.
That's yeah, 2 points only.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, considering all of that, everyone was. We were watching like the SDS predictions, and people had like 5-0 Arsenal win, which is a little crazy. But then like a lot of the consensus was like 3-0, comfortable win too. And I remember you texting me like, I think I'm gonna work out a little earlier because I want to watch this game. I think it's gonna be a close one. I know you had some money on Wolves getting an upset here, and it almost happened. They lost it at the very last minute. Jesus goal, or was it a Jesus goal or was it own goal?
Oh, I think
Mascara.
yeah, I think they ended up giving it to Mascara.
Yeah, he shamelessly celebrated like he scored, but it was a 2-1 Arsenal dub. And yeah, you called this one that it wasn't going to be just a walk in the park, and which is shocking. And if you really look back in the game, Arsenal didn't create chances.
No, I think Saka might have been the only one that was really trying to pull any strings together, but even then, it was like the reason I thought it was going to be somewhat of a struggle was just I feel like yeah, Arsenal's still top of the table, but I still really haven't been sold by their performances, honestly. Like set
Mm.
pieces, that's what they play by. Last few games, they've slightly been a little bit on the decline. I know we didn't cover it uh, the previous week, but that coming off that loss at Villa, I just thought they were slightly losing a little bit of momentum. Um, and then like I was like coming up against a Wolves team, I knew Wolves would just sit back, be very defensively astute, and was like, all right, Arsenal's going to really have to break them down, and they weren't able to break the Wolves team down.
Yeah, and to your point, yeah, they're getting wins, but it's the underlying performances has been masked a little, even though they're getting results. And like Arteta should definitely be worried right now, and Arsenal fans should like the fire alarm should be going off right now because they scored two own goals, and the only chance I remember them really creating was that Declan Rice free kick.
Yeah. That's a
But
good
other than,
save. Yeah.
yeah, good save. But other than that,
And if anything, I think Wolves looked like the more dangerous team, especially after they conceded. Then they started to uh, be more brave and start going forward, and they got the equalizer. And but before the equalizer came, they had a lot of, I thought a lot of like good chances.
yeah, and Arsenal have been needing to kind of upgrade certain areas of the pitch, especially the left side on
Hmm.
attack. And everything that was their chances or even pressure was coming from just really Saka's side. And so there's been kind of a debate with Eze and his performance since arriving to the Emirates. What do you kind of make of not just, yeah, maybe today's performance or yesterday's performance, and then just since he's
Yeah.
joined Emirates?
He was kind of a ghost versus Wolves, I think. I think since joining Arsenal, he hasn't taken to the levels, and that might just be to the fact that like at Palace, he's like the main guy, so obviously everything goes through him. Versus Arsenal, it's Saka's team. Um, so I feel like he hasn't really. Yeah, the Tottenham game, and that was a coincidence. Like got a Hattie on their head tops after almost going there. And like a lot of people were like, "Oh, he's like Arsenal's career's kickstarted from then on." But I feel like that's the only performance where I can really say like, "Oh, he was like great, worth the price." But So far, it hasn't been too convincing.
Yeah, it's been a little underwhelming. And against us too, like he looked pretty. He was like a ghost, like you said. But Odegaard, when he's come on, like he's been getting like I don't know. It just seems like the team's levels like go up a little,
Hmm.
clicking. And I don't know. Maybe Eze like at Palace too last year. He started off the season super slow, so
Yeah.
maybe he just needs time, especially with the new team, to just get
Y-
into the speed of things.
Yeah. I know you're a huge fan of Eze, so what would you say? You think Odegaard should start back over him, or you think Eze pushed out to the left and Odegaard um,
Yeah, I
slides
think
in?
Yeah, I think you got to start Odegaard now and maybe move Eze to the bench. Martinelli does offer a different type of profile,
Hmm.
whereas like Eze, Odegaard, they're all kind of the same in terms of like it slows down the game a lot. Martinelli adds that, but I do think Eze would be a better fit out in the left, especially with like Gyökeres. Like, yeah, we Gyökeres isn't getting goals and stuff, but
Yeah.
I do think he really stretches the defense
Mm.
and like creates opportunities for like teammates around him.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on him.
No.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on him. I know he is like a threat, just the presence he is, like such a big body, um, and like having power. Like to your point, I do agree with that. Like he does draw a lot of attention. Like he won't necessarily like contribute, but contribute in the sense of like just dragging defenders away from like the play to
Hmm.
create space. But in terms of like the final product and stuff, I'm still not fully sold on him.
Yeah, but Eze is, I think, I mean, we know his quality. It's just, it might just be a matter of him not clicking with the team yet. Um, and he usually
True.
always steps up second half of the season.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think he's been very underwhelming.
Hmm. He had a somewhat of a hefty price tag, so that's what everyone will be kind of talking about.
And I've seen Arsenal fans kind of talking about their injury crisis right now, especially with their defenders. Um,
Nah, that's what they spent so much on the deep, like only transferring in defenders. They Gucci.
I mean, looking back now, it's even I was questioning like, why are they signing so many defenders? But like, it's
Hmm.
really paid off now. And I was a
Hindsight,
little
yeah.
suspect on Nkempe this whole
Uh-huh.
time, like as a center back, especially. I wasn't fully sold on him, but he's kind of impressed me.
Hmm. I was surprised Leverkusen let him go on loan because he was kind of a key piece to their when they had like their invincible season. Key piece to
Hmm.
that team.
And he was playing almost not a wing back, but like he would get up a lot
Almost like the Calafiori
defensively.
role. Yeah.
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 But like as a pure center back, he's filled in really nice for Arsenal.
Hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like the. It's almost like they're just having excuses in case things
Don't
fall
go
apart.
there. Yeah, because they only got that 2 point lead right now. Yeah.
Has any of the other guys that have kind of stepped up uh, impressed you?
No, and I don't know. I know I sound like an Arsenal hater, but they just don't move me. Um, like they can, I feel like they can get, yeah, they're defensively sound, but like, I don't know.
Yeah,
They don't move me at all.
yeah, especially on the attack. But I will
Yeah.
say, like defensively, we know their strength, but like even defensively against Wolves, it's you got that feeling that like Wolves could get a goal at a like
Hmm.
at some points. Um, And what I think is the issue is like they're putting a lot of maybe it's just a psyche thing where like there's a lot of pressure on them right now to number one, like they've been second place like 2 seasons or 3 seasons in a row.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
three. And then
Hmm.
secondly, so first they don't want to do that. Secondly, I think yeah, getting over the line now and actually winning the title, and
Hmm.
they're like clear favorites. I think that's another added pressure. And then thirdly, I think just they've bottled the league a couple times now, so I think that's the third aspect. So it's at times the way they play, it's like not to lose, and it's just that extra pressure.
Yeah, so you could see versus that Villa game when they lost the last kick of the game is like a Champions League final where they all just like thought they like got eliminated or something. It's like, nah, you just lost the game. Like everyone just dropped to their knees.
Yeah. But so they're 2 points ahead of City now that City beat Palace and uh, 8 points ahead of us. But another team that no one's really talking about is Villa, still up
Yeah,
there.
under the radar.
Yeah, three points back. That's a game.
I
So
think no
they're
one's talking about
clearly.
them because they started off so crappy. Like relegation, couldn't score the first 4 games, whatever.
I thought it was 7 games, right?
It
They
might have
went
been.
007.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so they had like such a slow start to the year. I think it kind of overshadowed how well they're actually doing because they're third place now.
Yeah, and three
Yeah,
points is behind.
yeah. So
Do you think Villa are serious title contenders this year?
I think so because I feel like they also got like pretty good depth on their bench. Um, Apart from Sancho, they got like I feel like they got a quality 11 that can really match up against any team like we've seen. And then yeah, they God forbid they have injuries. I feel like they have good options. And Ollie Watkins is starting to kick off too, so
Yeah, I think the only thing that like worries me about Villa is I do think right now they're serious contenders and it's a
mhm.
little scary. Um, but the Europa League, just considering how Unai
uh
loves
yeah,
the Europa League and Champions League, and
true. Yeah. I keep forgetting
so
it they're in that competition.
yeah. But on the flip side, the good thing is I think they're sitting third in the Europa League table, so that it's not like they have to necessarily go full strength now with just a couple games left. I think 2 games.
That's true. Yeah.
So
That's impressive. Because at first the debate was like, should Unai get sacked if this form keeps happening? Everyone's like, no, because he's compensating with the Europa League, but like in fact now he's like doing well in both. It's crazy.
and props to Unai, dude. Like they had the whole PSR issue and like having to sell Jacob Ramsey, even though he really didn't want to.
Yeah.
And like it seemed like that project, especially after the slow start to the season,
Hmm.
was like kind of falling apart. But like even
The
after a pretty
guy with the least aura in the league,
who
Jacob Ramsey, that voice
voice
crack.
crack.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, Unai's done an incredible job with this team.
Yeah, because yeah, to your point, like PSR, so they didn't even. I think that was one of the big concerns that I had coming into the season. Was like they didn't really make any transfers.
Yeah, and just reading off some of like Unai's resume. I mean, he's won three. He's been in 3 Europa Leagues with Sevilla, one with Villarreal, winners, and then he was runner-up against Arsenal. And then just a job. If you really like think back to Villa when he took over, they were
Mhm.
like a bottom half table team and
They
almost like a
just escaped.
relegation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So he's done a incredible job.
He loves getting his lick back versus Arsenal too.
Oh yeah. Um, so that's Arsenal, and then I guess the last game we'll kind of cover in depth is City versus Palace. 3-0 spanking, but I don't know if the scoreline really reflects kind of the competitiveness of that game. And I think the theme or moral of the story there is just being clinical in front of goal.
Yeah, two opposite ends of the spectrum. 30 minutes of it, Palace completely dominated, just couldn't put away the chances. That first half, City, they got one sniff at goal, put it away. So that's the scary part about City being the challengers is like they got outplayed and still put up um pulled out a win.
Yeah, I mean, this could have gone the other way if Pina had hit he hit the crossbar, but like,
That was yeah, poor.
dude,
Yeah.
you should have hit that on frame. And then Wharton in the second half, like in the opening 10 minutes, hit the post. Like, this
Hmm.
could have gone another way if it was a different day.
Yeah. Your boy Turkey though, uh right behind Bruno, second in the league for most assists.
Yeah, I didn't realize Bruno was leading the league in the
Yeah.
assists
That's
quietly.
insane though. With Turkey being right up there. He's really Pep still had like shit to say about him, like when he did that Rabona assist,
Dude.
crazy assist, but like basically was like Pep was saying like gotta keep it simple and stuff, but like Turkey's like uh fitted in really well, and like I feel like Holland and Foden like both love him playing with them.
Hmm. Yeah, we bought his Shirky stocks when it was low.
Hmm.
Like now it's been super high, but like I feel like we've always known that he's like this, like his abilities. But the one thing that's really changed since his days in Lyon is I think his fitness. He
Hmm.
looks really fit now.
Yeah,
Um,
because that was the one thing was like I feel like he stayed getting injured for Lyon.
yeah, always injured, and also just like he looks slim
Hmm.
versus like his days in Lyon.
Yeah. And his that was the one thing I thought like Pep would not like him would be like because he's such a luxurious player to have going forward, like doesn't really put in that shift defensively, but I feel like with the City team he also contributes going the other way.
And it's nice him, I guess, playing around midfielders like Bernardo Silva, who is kind of doesn't offer much going forward now.
Mhm.
Um, and Nico Gonzalez, like those guys can kind of clean up for Shirky.
Yeah. So the two that stood out for me for City, Cherky and then also Foden. I think
Yeah.
he's not quite at the PFA level Foden, but quite close to it and definitely like miles ahead of the Foden we saw from last year.
Yeah, and one player that we haven't talked about much is like we always said, City, their one place they have to upgrade is their right back
Mm.
position. But what do you think of like Mateus Nunes, his performance this year?
I feel like he's getting more comfortable at that right back spot. Um, I still don't think I still think that's the position they can upgrade, if any. Um, but I will say he's looked better, but I still think that's one they can upgrade on.
Yeah, his cross, it was I don't know, his the way he's playing with City right now kind of reminds me of João Cancelo at
Cancelo,
times.
yeah, he gives me those vibes.
Yeah.
What do
Especially
you
that
think? You think
cross.
he's a certified starter, or you think they'll try to do something in the January market?
Ah, I do think it's a position they can still upgrade, but like
You think Rico
I,
Lewis is still like a contender for that spot, or you think,
no, I think Mateus Nunes, especially the form he's in.
yeah,
And I think going forward he offers a lot. And then your boy Nico Riley on the other side, I think he's locked down
sensational?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's locked down that spot for sure.
Hmm.
But yeah, that cross today too, just like remind me of that whip of a cross, just
Yeah,
Cancelo.
nasty. Yeah. So I know Palace did take. I mean, the score's not really reflected their performance. So, are there any players on the Palace's side you want to shout out? I know one player you'll probably mention is your boy. You've been high on his stocks for a minute,
Wharton,
Wharton.
yeah,
Yeah, but he
Wharton.
had a
I
good game.
I think he had a good game, but two again 3-0. It's like why would you shout out these guys? But I thought Mark Gahey and Lacroix really
Mm.
battled well against Holland, and I know Holland was on the score sheet twice, but I think those two guys won the battle. Um, Even Holland's first goal, I mean, it was a perfect cross, and then Richards was just you got to be tight on Holland there. But I thought Lacroix and uh, Mark Gahey was sensational today.
Hmm. Even in that one where it's like it was a one-on-one battle with Holland and LaCroix, and LaCroix beat Holland for like the pace and strength. So that was really impressive.
Yeah, Mark Gahey kind of gets a lot of the attention just given the transfer rumors, but
Hmm.
I'm a fan of this LaCroix guy. Like he reminds
Yeah.
me of like a athletic Saliba at times. He reads the game really well.
Hmm. Um, I guess one player I think that it hurt Palace because he was kind of coming off a injury was not having Muniz second half.
Yeah.
They kind of lost that threat. I feel like going forward,
Yeah,
having
because
a rough line.
they were on City that
Hmm.
opening second half, and I was thinking the same. I was like, "Whew, dude, if Munez was here,
Yeah.
he'd be creating some good chances."
Hmm. And that third goal was such a poor defensive, like Tyreek Mitchell. I know him and Pino kind of looked at each other and like they both thought they were gonna go for it, but like I was like, Mitchell, come on, dude, you
He just
gotta,
slipped too.
yeah. But also Muniz, apologies, my guy, you were getting slated this midweek by like people accusations of getting arrested and stuff. Did you see that report?
Yeah,
Ended up,
he fit the profile exactly.
yeah, ended up being Ivan Tony. So,
Oh, Tony.
hmm
Um, but yeah, I was thinking too. It's just like how fast sometimes like your form can change. Because you remember last year, Marmoush was kind of like on fire, and like it seemed like
yeah,
he was gonna be the next man up for
hmm
City. But like now, it just seems like he's kind of out of the team.
yeah, which sucks because he has so much quality. But I feel like he was. I feel like City were so bad last year, they had to do something in January, and I feel like they could have gone for a smaller niche player, but it's a bit of a panic buy. I feel like.
Hmm. So it's unfortunate, just given his talent, and he's barely seeing the field.
Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely with Foden being so terrible last year. Like Marmoush had to start. Um, so I wonder if he'll come back into the picture.
And then I guess that's the only games we'll kind of cover today. But um, what's your predictions for your boys tomorrow?
Tomorrow versus Bournemouth, that'll be a tricky one. 'Cause I feel like Bournemouth, they have a bit of a slump, whereas we've been playing well. Yeah, we've had a little bit of inconsistency but for the most part, we've been doing really well. Just came off a big win, demolishing Wolves. Um, I feel like I always gotta back my boys. So I'm gonna say it'll be like a 3-2 type game. I feel like Bournemouth are a bit vulnerable these days in the back. Um, but it's gonna be a good game. Entertaining for neutrals for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a 2-1 type of game, just given uh, Bournemouth's form right now. Our top four prediction there looking a little shaky for
Your top
Bournemouth.
four.
My top four prediction looking a little shaky. Let me not drag you into this.
You were looking like a genius at first because they look pretty comfortable up there.
Yeah.
And I don't know what game it was, but like ever since they've just been like, sh- uh, yeah, just struggling. Um,
What's your prediction for kind of the top your back four? Because it seems like Maguire and Delit are
hurt.
hurt.
Yeah. So Lemons at goalie, obvious. Then right back or right wing back, we got Diallo. Then our three center halves. I feel like Euro, because I think Evan Nielsen is like physical, so like I think Euro can kind of handle that. And then center back, we've been using Aiden Heaven, and he's looked pretty good.
Left center back. As much as I love the Butcher, I feel like he's still working his way through injury. And Shaw, he's been in good form, so him. And then left wing back, I want to still stick with Dorgu. He's he just needs time to develop, but he's like better than Dallo on that left wing back role.
Have you seen reports of who's trying to get Dallo? Some reliable sources out there.
Which source?
A bunch of random.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Is it a Premier League?
Nah.
No. What league?
I'll let you get five guesses. Or five questions. Two
Is
guesses.
it in Europe?
Yeah.
It's in Europe. Is it in Serie A?
No.
No, that's two. La Liga.
Yeah.
La Liga.
Two more
Oh,
questions.
Um, is a La Liga team currently top five?
Top five, like in standings, or top five, like
Current top five standing.
okay, yeah.
Atletico?
No.
Not Atletico. I would have thought he'd be a
One more
Simeone type
guess.
player.
All
Real
right.
Madrid.
Yeah.
I could with the crisis.
They're having a huge injury
Yeah.
crisis right now.
I still want Dallo just as a moral support for the like locker room because he's vibes.
Yeah, and also like he's not. Yeah, you can upgrade that position, upgrade him, but like he can still fill in and just like get the job done.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I know you just asked me for my back line, but and then that midfield, I would keep Bruno and Casemiro.
Yeah.
I know I've been saying like I want Kobe more playing time, but I want to see him playing more over Ugarte, like obviously. But I think the form Casemiro's been in, like I saw a video where someone explained it perfectly, whereas like you got to earn your position. Like just because Kabi is, I mean, he is really talented. I'm not going to deny that. Just because he's talented and like a youngster academy product, just that alone can't give him a starting spot. Like at the end of the day, he's got to earn it too. And they were
Yeah.
saying like how Casemiro he struggled last year, obviously, but like this season, like came back into shape, was like the most fit player on the team. Whereas Mainu, yeah, he was on the England squad for the final, but it was like a somewhat of a discombobulated England squad, so like that doesn't really win anything anyways. So it's like you can't just use those past accolades as like a reason Mainu should be starting.
Yeah, Casemiro's really stepped up impressive this year, and like his fitness level just looks insane too.
Yeah.
And then
Um,
who else? Who else are you lining up with?
And then on the
I think
tens,
Sesko's still hurt
yeah,
or sick or something.
yeah, he's still not fit yet. So I feel like the tens, Embuemo and Mount, and then Cunha up top.
Okay, yeah,
But I will say, like, if Sesko was healthy, I would have had Mount starting over Cunha in the 10. I think Mount is a bit of an undroppable player at the
right
moment
now.
for us.
Yeah, he's really stepped up. But I mean, big game for y'all, and then I think a kind of scary thing. So if you, assuming you guys win, you guys jump into top five, right behind us, tied for points, but
Goal different. Yeah.
yeah, go differential. But your upcoming games without some key players, Villa at the Villa Park, and then Newcastle. I guess when Amad Diallo's out and what's the name?
Embuemo.
Embuemo's out.
Yeah.
Who's kind of? How do you guys line
Deal
up?
with that. Then
And
I think
Mazraoui's going to be out too.
that's right. I always
Moroccan.
I always forget Morocco's in Africa. The right, I feel like Dalla is gonna slide into the right wing back role.
And then tens, we'll need Sesko back healthy by then to have Mount and Cunha in the tens. But if not, if Sesko's not back, then it'll be Mainu's time to shine. Mount, Mainu, and Cunha up top.
It might be worrying for Mainu if he doesn't get in there.
Yeah, if he doesn't get in during the AFCON times, it might be scary hours.
Yeah, he should definitely, depending on how it goes, just maybe look to move outside the club. Because I mean, he's a diamond there.
Yeah.
But someone that impressed last game for y'all was Xerxes too. So maybe
Oh
I
yeah.
could see Amarim starting with him up top.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Cunha. You know how much I love Cunha, but he's got a he's doing a little too much right now, forcing it a bit. So, but I will say I saw reports we might be free from the shackles of Ugarte come January,
What team
and
is
we
trying
might
to
be
get
getting
him?
our money back. Galatasaray want him for 40 mil,
Wow.
and Amarin said you can go for that.
Yeah, go for that, dude. Shoot.
So, good signs for us. United Strand, I don't know if you'll ever get your hair cut. 5 in a row is crazy.
That's hard for any team, really.
Except Villa. If he was a
Yeah.
Villa fan, he would have done it.
That's a tough one.
And then before we kind of sign out or anything, you want to get the cat out the bag and talk about the biggest drama?
Yeah, I
I'll
think
let you
yeah,
sort it out.
Or if you want to explain
Oh.
what happened.
So essentially, Liverpool, since they've been in their slump, Slot thought he should make some changes. He made that change in the West Ham game by dropping Salah to the bench, and Liverpool ended up winning. And then Slot thought he was a genius, and against which team was it? Leeds. Same thing, dropped him to the bench. Liverpool were winning, ended up Leeds ended up coming back, and the game ended up ending 3-3. Salah never even got a sniff of the pitch, and literally right after the game, he talks to Norwegian reports and basically was saying, I'm being used as a scapegoat. I've given like so many for the past 8 years. I shouldn't have to fight for my spot really, because I've kind of I'm established in this league, and basically said like he had a relationship with Slot, but now that relationship's kind of broken. And then he said that he wants his mom to attend the Brighton game, as it might be his last match at Anfield before the AFCON.
Drama. And then to add on to that, he did come on against Brighton due to an injury against who got injured?
Oh, it was Joe Gomez.
Gomez.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess my question for you is like a couple questions. Like, do you think Salah was in the right to speak out like that to the reporters? Everyone's kind of divided.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I know Jamie Carragher had some harsh words to say.
Well, I guess like before we talk about that, I just want to preface like I think we're both in agreement that like his feelings is valid, as in like he feels like he's being scapegoated. So before
Yeah.
even it came out saying anything, I think that's valid, right? Like,
Oh yeah, definitely. There's been other players who have been playing far much worse and still playing like Kanate. Even Van Dijk's past few games been struggling.
Kirk has.
Normally. Yeah, exactly.
Gakpo too. I mean, I think the issue with Liverpool is really their left-handed side with
Kirk has and
yeah, those guys. No one talks about that. So I do think his feelings of being scapegoated is somewhat valid.
yeah.
And we talk about like Salah doesn't really contribute defensively. But I mean, if you really think about it, like even the Leeds game, the 3 goals where Salah wasn't playing, if you look back to those goals. All of Leeds' attacks came down from the left-hand side.
Fair. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one because you know how the saying always goes, no player is bigger than the club.
hmm
Um, but I feel like there's some exceptions. Like if you're a legend of the club, like you obviously remember like that Ronaldo bombshell
yeah.
interview with Piers Morgan. Like I feel like he's warranted. Like he's had enough. He's a legend of the game, not just Man United. And then Salah, I feel like he's a Liverpool legend. I know people, Liverpool fans say Stevie G, Steven Gerrard's like their legend, but I low key think Salah has surpassed him, and
hmm
I think he's the number one legend. So I feel like he has every right to do it.
And it would be different if Salah was. I'm just making up a hypothesis, but like, let's
Yeah.
say 40, and I mean, he's clearly off the pace and stuff.
Mhm.
Like, then it makes sense. Like, dude, you're not. But like, literally, a few months ago, he was before the season. Literally, just a few months ago, he was hailed as like the best right winger in the world.
Yeah, Ballon
He,
d'Or
Ballon
shouts.
d'Or.
Yeah.
He carried Liverpool to the title. To like just
75% of their goal contributions came from
yeah,
Salah.
insane.
Yeah.
And like same with Ronaldo, like for United, yeah, United were struggling, but like Ronaldo was bagging goals. So
hmm
like I think both those guys were using being used as scapegoats and like there's no way that you go from being the best right winger in the world, one of the best to in literally a few months to being on the bench, not seeing the pitch at all.
Yeah. Um, I know
So
people
I,
were kind of criticizing Salah for putting Slot was already under pressure, getting the draw versus Leeds, and they thought it was like unjust to Salah to put even more pressure when he said basically like he has no relationship with Slot and like kind of throwing shade at him.
yeah, so I mean, I guess we've determined like yeah, his feelings are valid, but like so you think it is like okay for him to
I think
speak
he had
out
the
though?
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement there. Because it's insane. Like, yeah, you can drop him, but for him to not even see the pitch is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. That's insane. Um, I think Slot is slightly out of his depth. Um, you sent me that really good video of Liverpool in the Champions League midweek game a few days later after the Leeds game and Salah drama, where they got the win versus Inter, but
A struggling Inter side. So,
struggling. Yeah. But you sent me that one video. Is really insightful of Clarence Seedorf, who was giving Slot some advice. Not he wasn't like throwing shade or anything at Slot, just giving him some advice on the Salah situation. It was like if a player is going through a rough period, whatever it may be, like you gotta talk to him to see what the issue is and like I forget the exact words, but it was like well
mhm.
said. And Slot kind of just was like very defensive and was just like, "Oh, well, that's your opinion." It's like I feel like he's slightly out of his depth for how poorly he's been managing this squad.
Yeah, and like it blew my mind that like I remember watching the SDS podcast where uh, a lot of people aside from FaZe were trying to say Slot is a top, I think like a top 10 all-time manager for Premier
Mhm.
League already, which
That's yeah.
was just insane because like he inherited a really good side that like Klopp built the foundations
Mhm.
and I feel like he just kind of lucked out just riding that wave, but like the difference is crazy with like Klopp. Like, do you remember his fallout with like a couple times with Mane and Salah?
Yeah.
But then like literally right after the game, he sorted it out like by talking to those
Mhm.
players, and like
Yeah, exactly.
clearing the air.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, you can be great tactically, which I don't think Slot is, but like you have to have that man management as well.
Mm. Um, so before I give you like what I think it's gonna be fake, but just this story I'm gonna make up. What do you think? Who do you think will outlast who? You think Salah outlasts Salah at Liverpool, or Salah will outlast Salah? Or you think Salah's basically done his Liverpool career?
Uh, Unfortunately, I think I want Salah to outlast Slot. That's what I
Mhm.
want. Unfortunately, I think Slot is going to outlast Salah just given it really seems like the board is backing Slot. So
Mhm.
he won them the title, even though I don't think he really was transformative in that.
Really, just Gravenberch was the only
Yeah.
thing he discovered.
And again, Salah carried them.
Yeah.
So I think I think Slot's just going to outlast just given the board is really backing him.
Mm. Yeah, so what I think is going to happen, and this is based off the interview Jamie Carragher gave his thoughts, and he basically was like, Salah had no right to do that. He needs to remember he was a Chelsea reject, whatever. I think that's going to get clipped, and I think Salah's time at Liverpool is going to be done in January, and he's going to get a transfer back to Chelsea, and then Chelsea is going to win some sort of trophy. Liverpool go trophyless, and
Dude,
basically
that would
Salah gets
be
like the last laugh. It would tarnish his Liverpool legacy, but that'd be like epic. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm hoping happens.
Dude, I would take him at Chelsea in a heartbeat, dude.
Mm.
Um, I do think he's probably going to end up going to Saudi.
Yeah, that'd be the most realistic.
Yeah. Do you think Slot outlasts Salah?
Yeah, unfortunately, because
Yeah,
I saw reports to your point. It was like it seemed like he was getting a lot of backing, a lot of support
mhm.
from the board.
So what do you think of like if Salah um what was I gonna say? I forget my thought. Dang it.
Mm.
I had a question for you. Dang it. Um yeah, crazy drama. But it's also crazy Jamie Carragher, out like speaking out and like it's funny to hear all other ex-players kind of backing Salah or saying the
Mhm.
opposite.
Yeah, it's insane drama. So we'll see how Liverpool's season unfolds. Like from here on out, losing like a key figure in Salah would be like, I feel like it would
Oh,
be.
figured out my question for you.
Let's hear it.
Um, so obviously him going back to Chelsea would kill his kind of legacy at Liverpool.
Yeah.
But let's say he makes a move in January, um,
Mm.
or just like he stays the rest of the season, but like he's on the bench and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Unhappy. Do you think his legacy is already hurt at Liverpool?
Um,
Just him speaking out like that.
I don't think at the moment, just because at the this game this weekend when he did come on in that Brighton game, the reception he got was insane. Um,
But like like when ex players come to games, like they're always invited. People
yeah,
like
yeah.
Gerard, they can always
Uh,
come and
yeah, yeah.
they get like standing. Do you think Salah will still get that reception? Like assuming it just kind of goes the way it is.
Uh, I think it will. Yeah.
Yeah,
But if he makes that move like to Chelsea, then nah.
yeah. What if he makes a move to Saudi? Do you think he still gets the?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so too. Yeah.
But I think Saudi would be the best option, but I think the only reason he would want like possibly a move to Chelsea is like obviously still playing at a high level, especially when it's like a World Cup season.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
a lot of drama to unfold.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think Slot. I mean, tactically, I think Slot just hasn't gotten it right. The
Hmm.
best move still, I think, is like going two up top and four midfield. Like he just makes mad excuse. Like even, did you see the interview before Champions League about Isak and
Uh-uh.
they don't have a basically talking about the struggles with Isak and he's like, well, we don't have a Jacob Murphy profile on our team.
Ain't no way.
He said that, which is like,
Jeez.
what?
Yeah. That's insane. And then also very last thing before we kind of touch on the games for the next coming weekend. Um, I know we touched on like the Carragher and all the uh, pundits and media, but like also Graham Sanus, um, that old head. He's got to eat his words too. I remember when he after the game versus Leeds when Pogba got like the 4 assists. They're like, "Oh, what do you think of Pogba's performance?" And like the hater he is, he's like, "That's what I expect from every player that's like 100 mil player." And then when they asked about Wirtz, because Wirtz has picked up a little bit of form, asked about what he thought of Wirtz, and he's like, "Yeah, I really like Wirtz. He's really starting to fit into his role." Brother, he's done nothing for Liverpool.
Yeah, just a biasness there.
Yeah. But I guess with that, you want to. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, just another shout out for a player is my boy setting a new record, Mateus Fernandez.
What do you do?
Fastest goal in Premier League history now. Took him 29 seconds to score against. They ended up losing, but 29 seconds against Villa today.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I know you're a fan of his. I don't know what you see in him. He's
Yeah,
like a. I feel like he's like a. When he was at Southampton, I thought he'd be one to stay up, but I didn't think he'd be like a. Like you like see something in him.
yeah. I'm telling Shirky first, Wharton. Now I'm telling you him.
Jeez.
And then another player wanted to give a shout out to was Harry Wilson.
What'd
He
he
has
do?
been, he's just been in
Oh,
incredible form
cooking.
for Fulham. In the last 5 games, I think he has 10 GAs. But I feel like just injuries have kind of derailed his kind of growth. But I think he's really picking up form now. We're seeing the class he is,
Oh,
and
damn. He got 2 assists and a goal yesterday.
yeah, insane. And then his goal against who did they play a few days ago?
Tottenham.
Tottenham, dude, that
Yeah, that was
finish.
nasty. He didn't even look at the goal.
No, just techers.
Yeah. Um, you want to cover? I don't think there's Champions League this week. I know we touched
No.
on we play tomorrow to complete the match week. You guys got the quarterfinal Tuesday versus Cardiff. Other FA Cup games. City play Brentford. Wednesday, Newcastle versus Fulham.
And also, speaking of managers on the hot seat, there's been reports that
Can I guess?
yeah,
Prem.
nah.
Oh, not a Prem. A hot seat. Oh, then I got no idea.
Who are you thinking the Prem?
Thomas Frank.
Ooh, brother. They another clapping today. It's
Yeah.
scary hours.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of Thomas Frank? I feel bad for him.
Yeah, I do.
Do you think he's like, because at Brentford he was insane. Do you think he's just like out of his depth at a big club like this?
I don't know because he started off really well, like that Super Cup versus PSG. I was like, oh dang, this might be scary hours for the league, and that's why I had Tottenham projected so high. I don't know if he's out of his depth as much as I don't know. They just not. Yeah, I don't know what's going wrong at Tottenham because they got the players.
Yeah, I don't like if you think about like his time in Brentford, he transformed that. Like Brentford's such a small club, and for them to come up the way they did and like be competitive in the league, people were thinking Thomas Frank's like this genius, and like even the players that he signed and transformed, Ollie Watkins, Ben Rama, Wissa, and Buemo, like those were hits, But like
Yeah.
at Tottenham, maybe it's just like he needs to go back to that type of model, rather than just signing these big names that are,
Yeah.
rather than developing these unknown guys come out the scene. I don't know.
I think the only slight critique I have on him is at Tottenham, it just feels like he's playing a little too safe. It always seems like he's playing them games like not to lose versus like going out for a win.
Yeah, I mean they have quality around the pitch, but it just doesn't seem like the same Thomas Frank.
That was funny. You
But
mentioned the Brentford hits. Ben Rama
dude,
hit.
in the championship, bro,
Oh yeah, he was saucy
he
and
was a
yeah,
hit. I mean, he got big
true.
moves afterwards, but like
Yeah.
Ben Rama was definitely a hit for Brentford. Um, but no, another manager, I guess, in the hot seat is La Liga. Um, Xavi Alonso is under the hot seat. What do you make of him at his time?
I thought he had a good start to the season and then slowly started shifting his ways. And I don't watch La Liga week in, week out, but um,
They played today, 3 o'clock.
yeah, I'll watch that one.
Yeah.
I know you've mentioned FaZe before. I watch a lot of his YouTube videos as he's like a huge La Liga Real Madrid fan specifically. He said the issue is Xabi Alonso is kind of he started off the season really well because he stuck to his guns, but as the season went along, he kind of caved into the players. Like one small thing is like apparently before every match, Xabi Alonso does like a 2 hour like video watch of like the opponents and stuff, watch tapes. But like players apparently like didn't like that approach and stuff, so like he just stopped doing that altogether now. It's like little things like that. And then I feel like ever since that Barca game where he subbed out Vinny when Vinny was going crazy,
Yeah.
he's like, even though Vinny hasn't performed, he's just had his hands tied because of the backlash he got. So
Vinny has not been perform. That Champions League performance was a disaster class.
yeah, and the man Rodrigo, like he was cooking on the other side. So a lot of
Wait,
drama.
you know what would be a storybook?
If you go
Is
to Liverpool,
yeah, slot outlast
but then
Salah.
who would go to Real Madrid? Bring back
Who would?
Zidane.
Yeah, bring back Zidane. Maybe bring Inzaghi to that job.
Yeah,
Mhm.
big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Or would you do like a direct swap if there isn't much managers in the market?
Slot. Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't know about that. All
Who would
right.
you? Sorry, real quick. Who do you think would prefer which? I think I know
I
your
think
answer.
Liverpool
Yeah,
prefer Xavi Alonso. Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be insane storybook.
yeah. That'd be
We
crazy.
need to make it happen. But yeah, I mean, covering games, we talked about we play Newcastle next weekend. That's going to be huge at St. James. Sunderland go to Brighton. They got a big win today against Newcastle. They're sitting top seven. And then we have Spurs, Liverpool, which will be a
El
good one.
Sack go.
And Spurs have really struggled at home too. And then another tricky one for Arsenal, I think, is going to be Everton.
Facts.
Not at the Goodison anymore. I forget what their stadium's
Yeah.
called now, but and then Sunday, big one is Villa United. I feel like every time Villa and United, because I'll be home, I feel like Villa United, whenever they play, we always end up watching it together for some reason.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember if you I don't know if you remember the last time when Villa was clapping United.
That was Christmas time
Used
too.
Christmas
Yeah,
time,
and
yeah.
we ended up coming back when Hoyland got his first goal for us.
Yeah, and I remember you were about to punch me. I was like, bro,
Dude,
violence.
I was hype. I was like, we got a striker. If only that celebration just lived on. Coldest celebration in the world.
Nah, it's so cringe.
Around the world, we've got Saturday. Ooh, banger in La Liga. Real Madrid versus Sevilla. We got Juventus versus Roma in Serie A. And then in Sunday, we have Villarreal versus Barcelona in La Liga. That would be a big one. Villarreal is still kind of in that title race. And then Serie A, not many good matchups.
And then to round it off, also Monday there's a Premier League to finish that game week. Fulham versus Forest.
And it's been interesting in Ligue 1 with Marseille plays today against Monaco. I think you were right. Pogba's questionable to play, but that would have been a fun battle to watch.
Yeah, that Ligue 1 table, Marseille dropped to third. Surprise team Lens is making a run for it. So hopefully the Marseille boys step up. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for this week. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back next time to talk more footy, highlight game-changing super subs, and drop takes hotter than a derby day. If you enjoyed the chat, make sure to subscribe, drop us a rating, and share the pod with your friends and family. But until then, keep the football chatter alive, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.